Oof, this looks kind of different.
Yeah, what we're gonna go ahead and do today is we're gonna go and evaluate what internally makes our Outlaw Catch Can so functional. Now, a lot of you guys have already seen this out there on the market over the last few months, but the one thing you guys can't see once it's fully assembled are the inner workings and what makes it as efficient and functional as what we've developed in-house. So let's go ahead and jump onto this and dissect it. All right, now this is a standard Autosports Engineering Outlaw Catch Can. It's set up for all the drag racers that are out there. It's a high capacity catch can. It's designed to be atmospherically vented towards the rear of the car. So typically, because of the gross size of the unit, it's mounted internally either in the rear of the car or actually in the passenger compartment, and then you can vent towards the rear of the car if you want. Now, when you guys get it, it pretty much looks like this, except for it's already stitched together with all the welding. But I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing apart and show you all of the components that are all precision, laser cut, and bent that make up what to me is a great functioning part that's a little bit unique. Now, the top unit that you'll see, once we pull that off, you'll have your standardized inlet port, which we can set these up with -16, -20, but typically most of them are set up where the guys will use a 1.5" hose inlet, which makes the interior plumbing a lot more affordable because you can use standardized 1.5" tube or hose to make those connections. Now, in the top of the cap, nothing special, but underneath the cap, you see our first perforated layer, which this will start the whole oil separation process. So the top layer is fully perforated, as you can see. So everything enters through the port, comes in here, and now it starts to actually go inside the rest of the unit. So I'm kind of gonna dissect it little by little. Hopefully the pieces stay together when I pull the top plate off. So here's your plate. Now we have 3 more additional stages of baffling. We have the drain ramp here, which allows all of the oil, vapors, and residue that come through the first perforated section to actually fall along this plate and run down and migrate through the slotted holes here. So the interior of the can, this is basically your entire capacity for everything to collect. What we've known is that a lot of these cars are built with larger ring gaps, so you will get more blowby, but it helps to also, I mean, your crankcase pressure is gonna go up, and that's the primary thing we're trying to minimize. So having a larger capacity can helps to drop the crankcase pressure, which will in turn help your rings also seal and reduce the amount of smoke that's coming out of your exhaust. So this is your primary collection area here after the drain ramp. So this would be where all of any oil residue would sit, and we would have a drain at the bottom, which is just a standard ball valve. For anybody that wants to drain it, you can connect the hose, drain it underneath the car, because most of you guys put your cars back up on jacks as soon as you come back into the pits. So that makes it easier. You can just punch a single hole, put a rubber grommet on the floor pan, and just basically crack a valve, put a drain pan underneath your car while it's jacked up, and drain the system. Now, after here, once everything collects, any excess vapor will now start to come up through the next set of perforation. Now, what makes this section unique is this is the only section that is actually filled with what some guys might call coalescence, but we use a stainless wool. So this area is filled with the stainless wool, and that's what helps to the last stage of collection so that no actual liquid will go back out the can, and it is at the highest point. So being at the highest point, that means that, guess what? It's all of the liquid has already settled at the bottom of the can. Everything else that's coming up is vapor. We have the steel wool, dual stage perforation, a separate slotted with smaller holes. And what that does is now that opens it up to the exit. Now your exit is once again chambered in a unique area. And even though this is open here, what you'll notice is once it's fully assembled, the top of the perforated tube back here is solid. So that's what prevents what's coming in through this section to enter the can. So it doesn't just go directly out the outlet and not actually go through the full process of being coalescence. So the exit, once again, you can do a 16, a 20, or the standard 1.5 inch. So I don't know anybody that's doing as extensive of a baffle system. It works great. It's essentially 4 stages, because if you do 1, 2, 3, 4, including the steel wool along with the exit, nothing's really coming out of this can. You have a huge capacity here. I mean, if you talk about just raw liquid, I mean, it's probably, man, at this point, like 3.5, 4 quarts full capacity. So it's got plenty of room for all of your oil to coalesce, separate, condense, so that you're only sending out hot vapor out the exit. So I want to thank all of you guys for checking out this unique design, and I brought you inside. We pulled it over the covers. A lot of guys are always interested in trying to figure out the baffling system. These are pretty much just different tricks that I've used on smaller cans over the years, and I just combined them with a larger capacity and just as modular as a design as possible to help get you guys a can that works, functions, and doesn't let your motor blow oil all over the track. So go ahead, if you enjoyed what you saw here, make sure you subscribe and hit the alert button so you'll always get notified of all of the new videos that we have coming, and we'll be sure to keep informing you of all of the technical things that go into all of the products. We're not just selling things that we're afraid to actually show you the details. I'm here to make sure that you fully understand exactly what you're spending your dollars on. Have any other questions? Just use the site's contact page, send us an email at autosportsengineering.com, and follow us on all the socials. Thank you.